Hello! I have redone this take several times because the lighting is awful, my hair is awful, and I don't know, it's been a long time since I've been on camera. I can't function as a human being knowing that there are other human beings potentially watching me. Anyway, it's been a long time, and several months since my last tea review. In that time, I have accumulated more tea, and my friend in Germany was nice enough to send me some tea from over there. So I figured today we would do multiple teas to go through some of the collection I have hoarded over the past few months. And what we'll do is we'll do these 4 teas that I was sent from Germany, and if I have time at the end of the day, I will do a bonus tea. I will say the lighting may change because I will be filming this over the course of the day, because if I drink 4 or 5 teas in a row, I'm going to be peeing an awful lot, like hella peeing. So we will have 1 tea to start, and then as the day progresses we will have a couple more, and we might have time for a bonus tea at the end. We'll see how we get on, but I'll see you guys with the first tea when that's all brewed. Okay, so first up we are going to try, I can't pronounce things in German, the Chinese dragon tea. So, having a look in here, you can see it looks very lovely. You've got some whole flowers in there, some dried berries. If I read the ingredients to you, so it's green tea, yellow tea, oolong tea, dragon fruit, white tea, pepper, raspberries, chamomile, blackberries, and vanilla. So I can imagine this is going to be a very fragrant, fruity tea. So I quite like using my glass teapot because you can see the coloration when it's brewing. And I won't fill it up to the top because it's just little old me today. But as you can see, that's got the hot water in, and that's already starting to brew. So, as the packet suggested, we have let this brew for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's time to pour it out. So the teapot's going to be a little bit hot. Watch me burn myself. It's quite a nice amber peachy colour, which is really quite warming to see. That's a big cup of tea. This is why we're doing them a little bit at a time. I'll put the teapot over there. So, you have to forgive Puck's enclosure in the background. She can be the star of the show another time. As you can see, we've got a lovely, as I said, peachy colour to it. It's very hot though, so I might just give it a minute to cool down. Ooh, it almost smells peachy. There's no peach in it. I imagine the fruitiness I'm smelling is very likely the dragon fruit in it. It smells like, almost like gummy bears. It's really fruity. I could just sit here and smell it, honestly. But yeah, we'll give that a minute and we'll come back when it's cooled down. And we are back. It has been a little while and it's cooled down. It's still hot, as I feel a lot of tea should be. So we're going to give this a little sample here. Okay. So there is that slight bitterness from the tea, but it is very much overtaken by the sweetness of the fruit and the flora that they've included in the tea leaves. So it's very fragrant, quite sweet, not overtly sweet because you do have that, as I say, bitterness from the tea leaves. The aftertaste is it kind of has a green tea aftertaste there. So if you are a big fan of drinking green tea, I would say that this is probably very nice and I would recommend it to you. If you like mixing your green tea with dried fruit, I would also say that this is probably a good tea to have. In terms of when would be best to have this kind of tea in terms of season, this does feel like a spring tea, maybe an early summer tea. I can see that it's probably, as I've had it, better served hot. A lot of people do chill their teas or make iced teas. I would say that this probably, you could definitely give it a go, but I think this is probably better as a hot tea. So, in terms of how I rate this out of 10, see, I don't mind green tea. It's not my favourite, but I don't mind green tea. I would have to rate this as a, keep going back for more, very refreshing kind of tea. I would rate this as a 6 out of 10 on my little tea scale. I will probably put that on the screen somewhere. I'm not very great at editing, so bear with me. But I would say very solid tea, very refreshing, very nice if it's maybe a day like today, a very grey spring day, and you want something to just put a bit of colour in your morning, a bit of spring in your step. And I would say that I do very much like this one. We will go on to the next one from here. Next up, we have the Red Dragon. This one is, it really smells like berries, very, very fruity smelling. So here's the package, and for this one we need to let it brew for 6 to 10 minutes. So this one has hibiscus, apple, raisins, elderberry, rose petals, blackberries, strawberry, and red currant. So much like the name Red Dragon, we will expect this tea to be red when it's brewed. So let's get it brewing. Okay, so our tea has been brewing for probably a bit longer than 10 minutes because I got very hooked on watching those YouTube videos of that really nice Japanese lady cooking food for her family. They're very peaceful. But we have our tea, and as you can see, much like the name Red Dragon, it's a very red, fiery colour, so I'm keen to see what this is like poured. Goodness, it's almost like red wine or blood. Right. Yeah, it almost looks like I've just poured myself a glass of wine in a cup. So let's have a little look here. Yeah, the smell is very, I would say, jammy. It smells like forest fruits. Very, very, very sweet smelling. Let's give it a little taste. Ooh. So it's a bit on the tart side. It's a bit like if you were having jam, but maybe decided not to put as much sugar in this time. So it is sweet, but there is a tartness to it. It's not unpleasant though. It's quite a nice little tang, I would say. Might not be to everyone's tastes. If you did want it sweeter, you could maybe put a little bit of honey in, or if you're plant-based vegan, you could always put a bit of agave in there. I think it would go quite well. I imagine if you were to do that and you had a bit of a cold or a bit of a sore throat, a little bit of honey or agave would actually be really soothing with this tea. Yeah, unlike the previous one, there's not a strong green tea flavour. It is predominantly quite fruity, so if you do like fruit teas, this is a really nice one to have, I would say. It's nice after being out in that cold and rain outside. So in terms of what I would rate this one, obviously everyone has different flavours when it comes to tea. Some prefer green teas, some prefer smoky teas, black teas, white teas, fruit teas. It's all individually based. But for me, on my scale, I quite like a fruit tea as long as it doesn't taste incredibly artificial, which some store-bought fruit teas can do. This doesn't have that at all. I would give this probably a 7 out of 10. It's quite a good solid fruity tea. Okay, so for our third tea, we have the Tea of Long Friendship. So as you can see in there, we've got some petals and some tiny candied fruit pieces, lots of tea leaves. If we have a look at what is in this one, so we have white tea, candied ananas, candied papaya, candied mango, red currant, rose petals, strawberry, hollyhock, and mountain everlasting. So those would be the petals that you see in there. Whoops. Okay, so this has a brew time of about 3 minutes, so I'm going to pour that in, brew it, and then we'll give it a taste. We interrupt this tea broadcast to acknowledge that my neighbour has let her dog out. Look at him go! Okay, so our Tea of Long Friendship has brewed. So we'll have a look at this one here, and we'll give it a nice pour. There we go. So this one, it's a nice, this is more golden than the other one. This is like a nice golden syrupy colour. Giving a sniff. Oh, very floral. What could I compare it to? It's very... Does it make sense if I say it's a soft smell? It's very pleasant, very soft. Very soft. It's a soft smell. This might be too hot. Let's give it a try. Interesting. So I find that the sweet accents of like the candied fruits in it actually make the tea itself taste kind of candied. Very smooth, no tartness to it. You can taste the white tea in there, but the candied fruit, the candied papaya and everything, it's a very, very smooth drink. I would say this is a really nice one maybe for summer evenings. Or, as the name suggests, if you have a friend around and you would like to serve them some Tea of Long Friendship. This is a really nice one. I really like how the hollyhock and the candied fruits really complement these tea leaves. I would call this conversation fuel. It makes me want to sit here and tell you all about my life story and how I've gotten up to this moment in my life. It's still very hot though, So I'm going to finish this one off camera, otherwise we will be here for a very long time. Out of 10, I would say this one's probably my favourite so far. I would give it an 8 out of 10. So we've gone up. We've gone up 6, 7, and now 8. 8 out of 10. For the last of the German teas that were sent to me, we have the Apple Dream Sweet Temptation, which is comprised of apple, nougat, vanilla, almonds, and acidifier. So if we have a look, looks like an interesting combination. You could almost swear that there were pecans in there, but there are no pecans in this one. So I'm going to brew this one for 6 to 10 minutes as explained there, and then we'll give it a taste. Okay, so this one has been brewing, and I've been watching my cat from hell the entire time this has been brewing. Right, let's give this a little look here. So this one, I would say the initial appearance probably isn't as appealing initially. It's not like a deep red or a gold or an amber. This is quite murky, but it's quite akin to cloudy apple juice. It smells really good. It smells like an apple pie, apple and pecan. It does smell quite nutty, even though there's no nuts in it. That's probably the nougat. Almost marzipan-y. I will say this one is my boyfriend's absolute favourite. He has been drinking this quite a bit and there's not much left of this one already. Sorry, my phone just buzzed. It's low on battery. This one feels like autumn in a cup. Really nice apple flavour, really sweet. It just tastes like warm apple pie juice. It's so relaxing. It's like a hug. It's like a hug in a mug. And it's not a mug, it's a teacup. I feel like I should have my pinky out in these videos. I really should keep on top of that, practice my tea etiquette. Yeah, this one is a really nice fruit tea. It's not as fruity as the red one we had, the Red Dragon. This one it tastes more like a dessert, like a pudding than a fruit tea, but the apple taste is still there. I'd say this is a nice autumn or evening drink if you want to get cozy in the afternoon. Maybe put a film on, get in a blanket, put your pajamas on. If you have this, I would say it's a good way to wind down after a busy day. I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It's probably my favourite out of all of them so far because it does just taste like a dessert. I did say I would do a bonus tea, so this will be the last tea I review in this video. This one is not from the German teas that my friend sent me. This is a free sample that was given to me when I went to my local tea shop. There we are. If you can see in there. There we go. So this is a white chocolate flavoured white tea. It includes white tea, cocoa shell, white chocolate pieces, and it doesn't tell you how long to brew it for, but a lot of the Whittard brand teas tend to be for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to let this brew and then we'll give this one a quick taste And yes, I have already peed so much today. I've peed like 4 times because of all this tea. I'm sure I will pee one more time. Right, for our final tea, we have the white chocolate tea. So let's give this a go. This is from my local tea shop in town. Got a good pour going, look at that. Ah! Well, I can't re-pour my tea, so that's just gonna have to stay unedited. I'm not a fan of the smell. It's like, I don't know, if someone drank green tea and then had a block of white chocolate and then breathed on you afterwards, that's what this smells like. The colour is quite nice, it's quite coppery. I think this is going to be a green tea, which means it's going to be very difficult to completely impress me. That being said, I don't dislike green teas, as I said earlier. I feel like this might be a bit hot, so yeah, there's no semblance of white chocolate taste in this at all. It just tastes like pure green tea, which is fine if you like green tea. I would say it's a bit pointless going for something that has a white chocolate flavour when there is no white chocolate flavour in it. I think it's because the green tea is such an overwhelmingly bitter flavour that the white chocolate is just struggling to cut through. It does have a smoother finish than most green tea, but there is no white chocolate sweetness there. I really just feel like I've got maybe a slightly less intense green tea. This was a free sample though, so I didn't pay for this one. I don't think I would go out of my way to buy this one, but it is, if you're after a green tea, I would just get a green tea. This one doesn't get my vote. I would give it about a 3 out of 10, this one. This one would probably be the weakest one that we have had on today's video. That being said, the more it cools down, I feel like that is altering the flavour somewhat. There is, I guess, a bit of a sweeter aftertaste the longer you leave it. But the most potent taste is just green tea, which isn't great. Well, I suppose it'd be white tea, but it just tastes like green tea to me. 3 out of 10. Put that there. I will finish it, but it's a bit hot right now. Right, so I would like to thank you all for watching my channel. It has been a pleasure and a delight having you join me for this tea sampling. And I would like to thank my friend Latharn. I will include his Twitter handle in the description so that you guys can check him out. He has a wonderful fursuit and he's quite a good musician, if I do say so. I see him playing the harp occasionally. Anyway, I think that's all for today. I will let you guys get on. It looks like the end is potentially in sight for this pandemic, but even so, I hope you continue to look after yourself, whether that is having a nice cup of tea, doing your favourite thing this evening, or maybe just going for a little walk. Make sure you get some fresh air and exercise, even if you shouldn't be mingling in groups still. It's still important to get some fresh air. Okay, I will see you guys at some point for the next video. Hopefully it won't be another several months before I post again. And do comment and let me know if you like the structure where I review several teas in one video, or if you would prefer it if I kept to shorter videos and maybe just did one tea per videos as and when they come. I'm interested to hear your feedback on it all. Have a good day, guys. Bye.